this is not sufficiently grey. You know, yellow's not going to go to corner 1 here, is it? Because he's got a rush to hoop 2 with the ball, you know,
in the lawn
between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So there's no thought in Matthew's mind about cornering.
Why has Matthew put his mallet down in that position?
He's just looking at where his ball might go off and whether blue would have a rush south when he misses. And if blue has a rush south, it can get more room to send his ball back out into play if he misses with yellow. This is the shot we thought he was going to take, isn't it? He's going to find his backward ball. He's going to take this.
He wants people to move.
It's 4 yards in, so it's what's that? 22 yards. It's not very long.
No,
he had the whole lawn to play with.
Just making sure that Blake isn't in his line of sight. Our cameraman. He's sort of slightly got in the way of one of Robbie Fletcher's shots yesterday. We were surprised that Robbie didn't get him to move, but Robbie was so focused, I guess he wasn't perturbed by it. So, very, very important shot for Matt here. Playing with the ball that's on 4. Great view there. Yes, unfortunately he's gone off at the point where he put his mallet down earlier, and he took a long time over that one, Chris. I mean, he's always got a very deliberate routine.
Yeah.
But on that particular occasion, he dwelt for a lot longer than before.
And my concern here is he's made the triple even easier if he's gone off south of this. Oh no, yeah, that's okay.
It's pretty flat.
That's okay. So Reggie's actually going to have to do a little bit of work here in order to get a standard triple.
So how does the ball movement work from here, Chris?
You do have options. I think he will hit red first. He doesn't have to hit red first. And probably croquet red out into the lawn.
Yep.
Rush. I think he'll rush to hoop 2. A weaker player would find that the way to do a standard triple here is to rush black to yellow.
Yeah.
Leave black at hoop 3 and then rush yellow back to hoop 2. So that's what I would recommend for your average croquet player who wants a standard triple. Reg, I think, might just rush black to hoop 2 and just gradually nudge the balls around and do a delayed triple.
Okay. So he won't chase the on time.
We'll see, because obviously the other thing about it, he's very good at rushing, so he won't be worried about the rushing option I said. So he may just rush black over to yellow here.
Rich Waterman has commented that that Matt putting his mallet down on that particular spot might have subconsciously created a target for him to miss. So
that's interesting.
Rich,
so
obviously an expert at the psychology of the sport, and that's a very interesting insight.
So he's doing the same thing I would have done here, and just making hoop 2 off yellow. It just gives a standard triple, and you've just got to rush to hoop 2 from hoop 3. So I've had multiple finishing turns, lots of errors. How are we doing on time, Gareth? How long has this game been
Well,
going?
we're 10:42 now. We started at exactly 8:42, so exactly 2 hours, Chris.
2 hours. So it's going to be at least 2.5 hours, I would think, going Reggie's pace. And this is probably going to be the easiest the lawn gets until about 5 p.m.
It is. It's starting to bake in the sun. This is probably the warmest day we've had for the last week or so. As Chris mentioned earlier, the flags are all limp. There's not much of a breeze, but Cairnley has a habit of turning on a bit of wind. And if that gets up, with the lawns being drier, then things could get quite entertaining.
He's overcut that. So now these side approaches, Gareth.
Oh, this is this would strike fear into my heart.
We can see a darker green patch
Yep.
about 5 feet east of the hoop,
Yep.
and then we go into the straw-coloured grass. You've got to play a good shot. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful that we can actually say that?
Yep, this isn't playing an approach shot a yard in front on a lush green lawn. This is going to take some navigation.
So we want to send yellow a little bit west of the line of the hoop so he can rush back towards red afterwards.
And that's a little... oh,
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know whether Blake can give us a close-up of where that is. Oh, we'll see it here.
I think we'll see a power shot here from Reg.
Yeah.
And you remember when he stuck in hoop 2 hour and a half
yes,
ago?
Yes.
He tried to stroke it through.
He did strike. He did try and soothe that through.
This time I think we'll see the full backswing.
Yeah.
And they're not easy, these. They look straightforward, but then they're not easy. You've got to hit it absolutely at the middle. There we go. Good
and
shot.
you could see the carrots shaking as that went through.
But not flopping out the way, as we've seen, I think we saw in Adelaide in the final. The hoop just disappeared as soon as you hit it. I think Robbie ran one from about 55 degrees and the hoop just decided, no, I'm not staying there. So, good shots are rewarded, imperfect shots are punished.
Yep.
That's what we're looking for.
So where does the yellow get rushed to now, Chris?
I think he'll probably try and give himself enough room to play the croquet stroke loading hoop 4. So if he can cut it half ball and then just play a croquet stroke.
Just to answer Alison's question, the Welsh flag is on the same level as all the other flags today. The little telescopic flagpole that it was on has not malfunctioned, but yet to encounter some wind to make it fly proudly over Cairnley.
And Reg may have just decided here he's going to roll across to hoop 3. No, Red's well in the lawn. No, he's got enough room to play a stop shot and get behind Red here. No, got loads of room. So we should just see a standard triple.
So the blue is going down. The yellow is going down to 4, and the blue is going to try and get a rush on the red up towards hoop 3.
Yeah, it's a stop shot. There you go. Heel them out on the ground, toe fractionally in the air. And blue's perfect.
And all that looks pretty good, doesn't it?
I mean,
travelling a little bit. Oh, took a nice clip off the hoop.
Yeah, a little bit lucky. He's a fantastic croquet stroke player. And there's nothing really that should go wrong here. Even with the little bit of quick areas around the hoops, once you've got a standard triple, oh, he's hit that in the middle.
It's very flat.
He'll be wanting to peel with straight stop shots to avoid the pull.
So he's going to have to roll in a little bit now towards the get that escape ball a little bit straighter.
Well, you'd normally put your escape ball further south if you're wanting a stop shot peel. Where he's putting it here is more where I might put it for a peel with pull. So trying to peel from, 4 inches, 5 inches, but with pull.
Yeah, it's going quite a long way off to the west.
Remember, he's got a good hoop 4 pan here, so even if he doesn't get a perfect rush on red, he's still going to be okay. So all you got to do here is make sure black gets away from the dead straight line, which he hasn't done. And he now
hangs his head there a bit. So
the only way to get black in front of 4 back now is to peel it through hoop 3.
Yep.
And that is historically
hazardous.
Now, Reg, I think I mentioned a while ago, is the best player in the world at straight peels.
Yeah.
So
this is a chance to do 2 consecutively then.
Exactly. I think he's going to spend a bit of time thinking.
Yep.
He's going to look at moving it around one leg of the hoop to the right, look at moving it around one leg to the left where it might go, and we're going to see eventually him peel it through the hoop. And
Well, I think the cap might get another adjustment. He looked at for a while, I think, as Chris said. Oh no, strides up with purpose.
that was quite fast for Reg.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't gone for it. He's put it to the left-hand side.
Yep.
Right, so that explains why he'd made a fast decision.
Yep,
Wasn't
absolutely.
prepared to put the break at risk.
Yep.
And he's certainly put the triple delayed now. This is a position where people were playing for fun might go for an Aspinall peel, but you wouldn't do that in a World Championship final. So for those who don't know what an Aspinall peel is, you would line black up into the far wire and you'd play almost in a straight line, just fractionally off to the left. Black would hit the far wire, blue would catch up with it, hit it half ball through the hoop, and you'd get the peel.
And you'd still get the rush on the red.
Yeah, it'd be very elegant to pull off,
Yeah.
but I don't think Reggie's going to do that. He's going to try and jaws the black and then get a rush on red. If he peels it from there, he'll be played a good shot. But he'll be very happy just to jaws it.
And I suppose there's a few things that can go wrong with the Aspinall peel, like
Always.
the blue ending up next to the hoop.
In the
and,
hoop.
In the hoop.
Everything can go wrong. No, it's a showy flash fun shot,
Well,
rather than something that you do in the middle of a turn where
in the
you've
World
got lots
Championship.
of different options. Oh, he got the peel. That's very
yeah,
good.
that's great.
So again, that's the sort of shot most players have really been struggling with, haven't even gotten the jaws. Reg now getting the hang of the pull.
And the black ball popped through seemingly quite easily there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put them at the middle of the hoop, they go through. But yeah, if you just fractionally are off, you get punished for it. So nothing difficult about the turn now.
Yeah.
It should be 1-0 to Reg. On the other lawns, we've been seeing lots of errors from various people, and it's great. It's just great. Brings the game into a multi-dimensional state again. It's not just all about shooting. Aiken Hakes playing this plate final there's just stuck in hoop 1 from 1 foot straight.
Yeah, so if people are interested in finding out what's going on the other lawns, then Croquet Scores is a good place to go. There's good commentary happening there, and the regular updates of the scores in each game are keeping everybody busy. So
Reg will just pop yellow just to the side of hoop 4 here.
So we can rush back up.
And go all the way back up there to black afterwards. Probably rushing yellow towards corner 3. And I want everyone who's watching that to just see what Reggie's done. He's approached the hoop, he's got 10 degrees angled from about 3 inches, and he's gone and stalked it from 3 yards away.
Yep.
Don't just walk up to your ball from sideways, plonk your feet down and hit it. If someone as good as Reg feels the need to go back 3 yards and stalk it for a simple shot, well, you should feel the need to do that as well.
Well, I was sharing a lawn with Stephen Mullender the other day. He got down and did some press-ups.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's part of his fitness regime, though. So one of the things I haven't sort of mentioned so far is the history of these World Championship finals.
Yep.
And we have had a lot of finals between an existing or past World Champion and somebody playing in their first final.
Okay, and how's it normally pan out?
And apart from one time, I believe every single final has been won by the person who's been the past champion.
Okay, the experience has won over the...
Yeah, and what you find is when the person who's lost a final plays in their next final, then they're capable of winning.
Yeah.
But the experience of losing is often very positive. So Paddy Chapman played Robert Fletcher in London. He lost that final, and then he went on to win in Wellington. I played Robert Fulford at Carden Park in '94, went on to win in '95. And there are lots of examples of this. But actually playing one of these, really strong players, and it's a mental aspect. There tend to be multiple phases in the game. The first phase of the game is the start of the game. Can you actually play a break? And Matthew played really, really well for about 5 or 6 minutes.
Yes.
And then put a break down.
Yep, and then put it down.
And really, we haven't seen him put many breaks down.
No, that's one of the first.
So there's that stage to get through. Then you've actually got to go and win a couple of games.
Yep.
And then there's arguably the most difficult stage, which is when you think you might actually become world champion.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And suddenly you realise the enormity of it.
Yeah, and then suddenly a standard triple peel, as Reg is on the middle of here, which he's making look routine, a standard triple peel can become one of the most difficult turns you've ever played.
Yeah.
So Matthew's got lots of hurdles to overcome in this match.
And he's leapt up the rankings, hasn't he, just recently?
He's been a good player for some time, has Matthew. He hasn't played a lot. In America, you don't get the opportunities to play every weekend that the sort of UK players get. So we've known about his ability for multiple years. He had a very strong Solomon Trophy last year, and all the English players came back saying he was clearly the best player and much improved.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I've noticed during this event is, compared to the last time I saw him play, when he was like the type of player I least like watching, where he runs all his hoops from a yard and then he hits a 5 to 6 yard return roquet and all the croquet strokes are rough. That entire element of his game has improved in every area, and that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
You're looking for people who can play in different conditions. And here we've seen him running hoops from short distances and being able to play better croquet strokes, and the entire game is better. So that's a fantastic thing to see in any young player.
Yeah, see that development happening, and he'll be. Well, he's a very fast learner, and he'll be learning a lot from everything that's happened in this game so far too.
Yeah. So Reg coming up for the second peel here. He's going to be making hoop 6 off the black ball and then getting it behind the hoop in the hoop approach. So sending yellow out to the left-hand side as an escape ball, getting behind the black so he can rush it in front, but not dead in front.
And did you like where the red went, Chris, in preparation for this?
Red's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a nice escape ball for yellow. So just don't do the same as he did at hoop 3, where he rushed it dead
rushed it
straight.
in front, yeah. Well, maybe that's all part of the show. No, this time off to the side.
That's nice. Just nudge it a few inches behind. Wide angle split. Run the hoop from 2 or 3 inches, and you've got control. One of the things we saw yesterday was when Reg was peeling penultimate, whether it was with an easy croquet stroke like he's going to have here, or whether it was a death roll going 2 back, the peel he finished feet away from Rover every time.
Yes, that's right. It made that Rover peel happen just when he wanted it. That through?
Now that's an Atkins result. He had just a little 15-degree angle.
It was. He had to make sure of the hoop, didn't he?
Made sure of the hoop. Now he's a good enough touch player that he can just dribble this off and still keep it in position. That's fine. A little bit off straight, but he's able to play this with a stop shot or a drive. Might not get it all the way down to Rover here, but he's going to peel it and get a rush on yellow to the north boundary, and he should be absolutely fine. But yeah, I don't think it's going to go all the way down to Rover here.
Yeah, from this angle, it looked as if it's a bigger not quite as plumb in front. In fact, if we stand up and have a look at it,
it's not too difficult.
It's about 15 degrees, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good estimate.
And the red ball just about a foot or two southeast of one back, and that's in the jaws. Do you think he played that to get it in the jaws, Chris? It looked quite hard.
No, if he played it with a stop shot, I think he would be perfectly happy with it a few feet through the hoop. The place you don't really want it is 2 inches through the hoop.
No.
Hasn't rushed that very far. Yeah, he's got enough room. He's got enough room still to send this to 2 back. And after 1 back, he'll rush red towards the end of B bulk, send red to 3 back, and just finish north of black to rush it down the lawn. He doesn't have to peel black before 2 back. He can just position it and then tidally peel it before 3 back, and there won't be any trouble.
Yeah, black is most of the way through.
Yeah.
There's not as much showing for him on the playing side as sometimes there is.
A little bit short on the 2 back peel there, particularly given that blue is not as tight to red as he would like. So he didn't get as good a stop shot, and that's been one of the features of the balls. So that back ball has been going further than the players have been anticipating.
And is it a case? What's happened to the compound, do you think, to make that?
Now you're moving out of my area completely. I know they're using different materials, but yes, who knows about what the actual physics and.
But it makes you realise how complex it is to make a croquet ball. I mean, to the uninitiated, they just look like balls, but there's a lot that goes into them.
Yeah, and for people who've only been playing a few years and are used to these very consistent Dawson balls, from my career, I started playing with Jakes, and every season Jakes had a different type of ball.
Oh, really? They changed it regularly?
Yeah, and you could look at the gold bit on them and they would say A, or B, or C, or D, and a D standard for Duff, not very good. And but no, there were some nice series of Jakes and some not very good series, and then we started getting different balls, and we got Barlow C's and Barlow GT's and Southport balls and Sunshine is. After the Barlow GT, we started getting the Dawson International. The first type was played in '93 Mac, and they were like puddings. They were just shockingly bad balls.
Really?
And then I remember Brian coming to the Mac in '96 and saying, "I've got a new type of ball, you must try it." And I said, "Oh, I hate your balls so much, Brian, I'm not sure."
I'm not even going to look at them.
And they were fantastic.
Yeah.
And from '96 onwards, the Dawson ball really started taking over the market and became a very consistent ball that played very, very, very well. And then 2 years ago, these new Dawsons, the Humpties, came out, and people are still adjusting to those.
Yeah.
Some people have never played with them.
And we heard on the opening night of this tournament just what a big impact the Dawson balls have made. And Brian Dawson received an award from...
Yeah, they've made the game easier. They're consistent balls.
Yeah.
I love playing with Jake's balls. They were very cracky and they split wide, and dribbling them off to keep them into position was more difficult.
Okay.
So they made the game more difficult than these, but they weren't as consistent.
No.
And they broke faster. So yeah, being able to buy a set of balls that lasts over 10 years is a big thing.
Tell me about the position of the red ball here, Chris.
Red's not very good at all. He hasn't given himself enough room to get red all the way to 3 back. And my normal play here is to rush peel black down towards just short of the peg, and I'm going to send black to 3 back. Again, lots of people who are starting to do triples, they don't like moving the peelie away from the peeled hoop, so they would send it to rover here. And the more you play, the more you realise if you make 12 hoops during the turn, the peels normally come. And at the moment, 3 back is jeopardised by how poor red is.
That's sort of in a no man's land position there, isn't it?
So he's going to tidy his break up. The peelie's going to go to 3 back. And after 3 back, he's going to try and rush it in front of Rover.
Okay. Because the 2-back Pioneer wasn't brilliant either, was it,
No.
at that stage? But now he's put in a great 3-back Pioneer.
It's a good croquet stroke. This is a 4 or 5 foot rush pointing almost at 2 back. You've just got to be solid at this and rush it consistently well. Again, it didn't get the best of contacts there, in my opinion.
No, it's a little bit further out than you would have liked.
But he'll send this deep and he'll crash through. Just give yourself a 2-foot hoop straight. Make sure you send yellow deep so you don't have a long returner, okay? And that's the shot people should be practicing. Just stand up, play it with a stop shot or a drive. Yellow's two yards off the boundary and you have a straight hoop.
Yep.
And then watch the tempo of the swing. He's not going to thrash at it. He's going to hit it with a fairly slow tempo, hard.
Yeah. With a lot of purpose.
Yeah.
Well, they went back quite a long way, didn't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. But the tempo of the swing wasn't a thrashy, hard one. It was. It had a nice tempo to it.
Oops.
Again, one of the things to watch these top players, and one of the things I've been coaching a lot in the last few years, is forearm extension. On those firm shots where you're trying to hit the ball firmly and straight, you want to work on your tempo, and then after you've hit the ball, get those forearms extended. If you watch stills from Bamford, Fulford, after they've hit it, those forearms are moving forward. They're not going upwards; they're going forwards and low.
I think you've talked about levers in the past. You've said get those levers going.
Yeah, you're wanting to use your long levers, and your long levers come from your shoulders, and they basically go in more or less a straight line. And as soon as you start using your little things like your fingers and your wrists, they go all over the place. So
yeah, no, that resonates very strongly. The idea that these large levers, if they're a lot more stable and purposeful, and any little twitchy things, wrists and fingers are only going to deviate things.
So yellow goes up to 4 back, and he's going to leave red in a position, hopefully, that's maybe about 3 yards northeast of hoop 5. And Paddy covered this very well in the new book that's been written. Paddy wrote the chapter on advances since Wiley in the triple peel, and this position for leaving red, so that you can rush black to a range of places after 3 back and still play the peel with a dead straight stop shot or drive and still have a rush on the red ball. And that was an area of Paddy's thing, and I don't think that's right. You see, that's not where I would be putting the red. It's not where Paddy suggested you put the red. In some ways, it might occasionally be in the way of rushing red directly. If he misses, he's probably going to try and rush it 4 feet in front. But if you were to rush it 1 foot in front, red is potentially just a little bit in the way. Depends how far he approaches when he approaches the hoop here. But positioning red there, if you want to rush on red north towards yellow, you have to play it with a roll, don't you? And if you play it with a roll, you're going to play it with a split roll, and that's going to create pull. And Paddy's position, where red is sort of 8 feet further north than that, allows you to rush black in front and then peel black with a straight stop shot or a drive, and that eliminates the pull and makes the peel more likely.
So you'd have preferred to see the red where, Chris?
About 8 feet further north. And I say that's where Paddy's written a really nicely worded chapter in this new book. It deals with lots of these, but they're minor things, but they over a period of time.
Oh, they increase the percentages.
They do. Fantastic control there by Reg. Got a perfect rush to in front of Rover. But even from here, you're likely to be peeling from a little way away or at an angle, and I'd much rather be doing that. Look at this, look at this. No, oh, lucky. He'd rushed that completely the wrong line, completely the wrong pace, and he's flicked the near wire and bounced out to there.
Oh.
And again, imagine this shot. Imagine now red is further north. You could play a dead straight stop shot and have a lovely rush pointing at the east boundary over by yellow, so that you can continue your break. Now Reggie's going to have to guess at how much pull he's going to get, and he's a very good person at guessing.
And he's going to take the blue on the west side. The blue is going to slide down the west side, Chris, or
no? He's going to go down the tight side.
He's going to thread the needle between the hoop and the red.
Because I think you can see his line black up into our left-hand wire, his right-hand wire, which means it's going to pull that way.
And that's nicely in the jaws.
That looks like it might have stuck to me.
Yes, yes. You mean the hoop is too tight?
Yeah.
And
so
actually, he's going to call
the only hoop that's been too tight in the tournament so far was during a practice session.
Yeah. Does he get a replay for that?
He gets an optional replay.
Right.
He won't take the replay because he's got a great result, but he will have the hoop reset. It definitely looked like it jammed to me.
Yeah. So Willie Silk is on to
and
judge whether the ball is touching both wires.
Yeah. I haven't had an example this event of a ball sticking apart from in a practice session. So the normal thing would be that the referee would mark where black is at the moment. Hopefully, without moving it, she would be able to tell, is it stuck at the moment? If it isn't stuck, she still needs to test, will it stick? And if it will stick in any rotation, then Reg will get the option of playing the shot again, or simply just having the hoop reset.
Okay, so that's very interesting. I think maybe some people would not know that even if she had judged that the ball wasn't currently stuck, then it's still necessary to check that it couldn't stick.
Correct.
Yeah. Because it might have stuck. What might have caused it to have stayed where it was the sticking, and now it's just slightly come half a millimetre away.
Correct. My immediate reaction from how the ball reacted was it had been in contact with both wires at the same time.
I concur with that. It looked a very different movement than what we've seen for the other well, particularly the very smooth peel that Reg had up on four-back, and then the jawsing on penultimate.
So normally the first thing you do here is you would mark a spot where you played the croquet stroke from. Reg probably won't bother doing that here because he knows even if he gets a replay, he's not going to take it.
He's not going to take it.
He's
already got the result that he wanted.
Yeah, he's going to make sure that the hoop's wide enough for the ball to go through for the rest of the match, so we don't have the same issue again. I would take the opportunity to say to the referee, look, could you check black on all 6 hoops? Because if the ball's gone out of round or it's got too big, we've got a hotter day today, you might as well check it now as any other time.
Is there any evidence that the black ball expands more than the others, Chris?
Yeah, and the order of the expansion is black expands more, then red, then blue, then yellow. So that's been measured just on temperatures.
Okay. And the same with these new Humpty
balls? I'm not sure about that. Logic says it's a colour-related thing, so I would expect so. So very interesting that they've chosen not to test it.
No.
I suppose the referee might deem the ball critical. You would always normally test it unless the player has a choice of just saying, well, no, but he's called the referee on to start with, so I don't really understand what's gone on there. I would expect that after Reg has finished this turn, they will go and check all the balls and all the hoops.
Isn't that a bit of a catch-22 situation? If it's critical, but you need to correct the problem with the hoop, but on the other hand, it's a critical position. So where's how's that tension resolved?
Well, it's why you call a referee out. The referee's meant to be able to mark the ball exactly, so they can lift it, test it, and then put it back in the same place. And certainly, I wouldn't be wanting to run Rover with blue, even from 2 inches, thinking that the hoop might be too tight.
That's right.
So I think from that, it's clear that the referees have tried to make these hoops tighter today. They've been set to about a 32nd all tournament, which is the sort of maximum width you're allowed to set them to, and you're allowed to move that down to a 64th for the knockout stages if you think conditions need it. And generally the hoops here have been a little bit wider than you would find in New Zealand, where we would move down to the 64th straight away.
Yep.
I think the players in the first round of knockout thought that they were at least as wide as they were for the block stage. But yeah, they've clearly tried to just nudge them down a wee bit further today. And that one, to me, looks like it's going to need to be reset.
So Reg nicely in front of fullback, taking no chances with this one.
Got a lot of wire there.
Absolutely sure that that went through. So yes, this game will have taken the best part of 2.5 hours. Oh no, 3.
It's not been fast this turn, has it?
It started at 8:42. No,
Yeah.
we've been 2.5 hours so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, I said it'd be at least half an hour this turn. And then the normal thing to do here is you send yellow down to rover. You make penultimate off the red ball, and then you go.
Oh, they are
yeah,
adjusting there.
they're gone
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And then you go straight to the peelie in the hoop, rush peel it, croquet it to the peg, going to the yellow ball, your over pioneer, and that's how you finish.
Yep. Yeah, so it avoids the rover peel.
Yeah, you don't want to be peeling rover straight and have to rush back to the peg from 10 yards away. So it's one of those rare instances where you actually try and put your over pioneer a little bit deeper than normal. Having it 2 yards in front of rover is actually the bad place to have it when you're about to rush peel black, because you've got to get past it again.
Yeah.
So having it level with the hoop is almost perfect.
Okay. Let's see where he puts it.
That's not putting it to rover.
No.
So that's someone who's going to be Irish peeling the hoop.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, it's worse. That's just my absolutely clear view. Yellow's in the wrong place.
I suppose that with the black in the jaws, he'll be able to nestle up to it when he gets to rover, and the peel will be a formality.
But think about it this way, Gareth.